April 17, 1961. A covert operation meant to overthrow Fidel Castro unfolds on the shores of Cuba. What was planned as a quick and decisive mission turned into one of the most infamous failures of U.S. foreign policy. This is the story of the Bay of Pigs invasion. To understand the Bay of Pigs, we need to rewind to 1959. Fidel Castro, a revolutionary leader, overthrew Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. Castro quickly established a communist government, nationalizing American businesses and forging strong ties with the Soviet Union. This alarmed the United States, which feared the spread of communism just 90 miles from its shores. In response, President Dwight Eisenhower authorized a secret CIA-led plan to train and equip Cuban exiles for an invasion to topple Castro. However, before this plan could be executed, Eisenhower left office, and the responsibility fell on the newly elected president, John F. Kennedy. The CIA's plan was straightforward. 1,500 Cuban exiles trained in Guatemala would land at the Bay of Pigs, a remote swampy beach in southern Cuba. The idea was to establish a foothold, rally anti-Castro Cubans, and incite an uprising. U.S. air support was expected to weaken Castro's defenses. The problem? The plan relied on secrecy, but Castro already knew it was coming. On April 15, 1961, the operation began with airstrikes against Cuban airfields. But due to last-minute changes by President Kennedy, these strikes were insufficient, leaving much of Castro's air force intact. 2 days later, on April 17th, the main invasion force landed at the Bay of Pigs. However, they were immediately met with fierce resistance from Cuban forces. The promised local uprising never materialized, and within 72 hours the invaders were either killed or captured. The invasion had failed. The failed invasion was a major embarrassment for the Kennedy administration. It strengthened Castro's grip on power and pushed Cuba closer to the Soviet Union. In fact, the event played a significant role in the Cuban Missile Crisis just a year later. Domestically, Kennedy took full responsibility for the failure, but tensions between the U.S. and Cuba only escalated. For Castro, the invasion was a propaganda victory. He painted the U.S. as an imperialist aggressor and used the event to justify even greater Soviet support. Meanwhile, the captured exiles were eventually ransomed back to the U.S. for $53 million in food and medicine. The Bay of Pigs remains a textbook example of a failed military operation. It highlighted the dangers of poor planning, overconfidence, and underestimating the enemy. It also shaped U.S. foreign policy for decades, influencing future interventions and covert operations. JFK said, "Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan." Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical breakdowns. What do you think about the Bay of Pigs? Let us know in the comments.